Alright, here is our week 8 battle of the CMM. We are up against Standard VR. And yeah, he leads with his Mimikyu as I lead with my Deoxys Speed. Now, I didn't record the team preview, but it should be on screen. But yeah, obviously we don't want to stay in with Deoxys here. He can pretty easily just go for like Shadow Claw or something, and maybe be able to pick it up with a follow-up Shadow Sneak, so we will just go out into Overgrowth. It's a pretty free switch, all things considered. We also have the Rocket Helmet to punish it for going for like Shadow Claw or Play Rough, which I do expect to see from it here. Well, it could be like Will-O-Wisp, and we can also set up hazards. We do just see a Shadow Claw, that's great, and we also get the Poison Point, which is another tech I have on this Overgrowth. Now this Mimikyu will just be taking so much ship between the Rocket Helmet and the poison damage. We actually do also have Law on this Overgrowth, to fish for the Poison Point procs and get more chips from the Rocket Helmet. But here, I'm pretty free just to set up a layer of spikes. As I said, they can't really threaten me. So here they will switch out and they will actually go out to their Volcaro as we just go for spikes. So here, I don't really have the best switch-ins to this, so they do just decide to stay in and go for a gunshot. It should do a decent amount to this, but they go for a Quiver Dance, and yeah, we go for the gunshot, but unfortunately we miss. Now this is pretty bad. Gunshot would have done a lot of damage to it. Not sure how defensive it is, but it definitely would have done a lot of damage. Could also get a potential poison, so missing there is not great if I'm going to be honest, because now they can just go for another Quiver Dance, which is a bit of a problem. Ogerpon should be able to revenge this, but they'll be able to bring me down to my sturdy, so I'm not really too sure. That definitely wouldn't be the best case scenario for me. I do just go for a crunch. I don't want to miss. I assume they're probably heavy duty boots, but like in case they're like maybe Focus Sash, because if they are, I think that's when things really get dicey, because at +2 they are also faster than Deoxys Speed. So here I do just go for another gunshot. I guess more chips, because Ogerpon should always just be able to revenge this. Maybe in hindsight it was my play to go for another layer of spikes here, because we do see the Fiery Dance and we do actually live. And yeah, we do lack a gunshot. I'm not sure, maybe spikes was better, because like it's pretty certain that Overgrowth will go down. And chip on this doesn't really matter too much. Ogerpon has a 4x super effective Ivy Cudgel. But yeah, Volcano will be able to take us down. They also get a critical hit. Doesn't really matter too much, but our play is simple. It's always to go out into Ogerpon to be able to revenge this and just go for an Ivy Cudgel. I can't really risk anything else, because honestly it can really cost me the game if I try to get aggressive or greedy. So I do just go out to Ogerpon and go for an Ivy Cudgel. Here I assume they just want to stay in, because like they'll definitely take this damage trade. It's definitely favorable for them, so if this was their plan, it definitely did work out. So yeah, another thing is that they didn't bring their Glamour actually, which is pretty surprising. Ooh, they do just cross dance. As expected, we will go fight the Cudgel and be able to take the kill on this. But as I was saying before, the spikes will they don't have a way to remove the spikes, so that's still pretty impactful, even if it means that we lost Overcall and essentially Overpawn at this point, right? It's very clear that he will be able to revenge me easily with maybe a Dragapult, U-turn, or even like, yeah, Urshifu. This pretty much confirms its Choice Scarf, but since I am locked into being the mask, I kind of have to stay in. I didn't bring my Arachnid. It's on the bench this week, so I don't really have a choice. So I do just stay in and go for Horn Leech just in case it isn't. But Surging Strikes is very free here. Now, I suppose they could also go for a U-turn. Yes, as we do see it. Not really sure if that's better or not. Because like Surging Strikes is pretty free into my team. But I'm not sure. So we see them go out into their Deoxys defense, which is interesting. Even though it theoretically doesn't seem good into my team with like Lunala and Overcoat was definitely putting in work in some mocks. But yeah, I don't really threaten this, right? Other than Lunala, it's my only way of hitting this super effectively. So I do go into it. This is Choice Scarf Lunala. Also likely my win con in this game. Now I'm not sure what they might want to go for here. Thunder Wave knockoff maybe. But I do just go for the Moongeist Beam. There also is a pretty big chance, but they do just decide to switch out. Really sure to switch into Hooper is free, especially if it's Assault Vest. But no, they do actually stay in, so now I'm really hoping this kills. But they do end up living. And they go for Psychic Terrain. Now, I cannot say I was expecting this. Now, maybe they want to go for, like, say, an expanding course on their Hooper, which definitely could make sense. Here, I could just go for Moongeist Beam. I will be able to pick this off, but I did go into Enamorous, calling a potential double into their Hooper, because that would be pretty bad for me, but they just go for a Psycho Boost, so the play does not end up going in my favor. I definitely should have just stayed in and taken the KO there. But here we actually see Eject Pack. So this is a really interesting Deoxys set. Psychic Terrain Psycho Boost Eject Pack. Now we see Hooper Unbound come in. So this pretty much just tells me that this is Choice Scarf. They are also Terra Poison, so I guess they're not really too afraid of me also being Choice Scarf. And as you can see, I also only have 3 moves. Now, unfortunately, when I tried genning this in, Agility didn't carry over, so Enamorous definitely became way more expendable in this game because of that. As we do see the expansion course, it's just enough to take me out, so it isn't ideal, but luckily this is a pretty free switch into Deoxys. I run a quick calc here to see if Psycho Boost will always KO. So I do go out into my Deoxys here. This will always kill the Hooper, and I mean, maybe he could go to his Mimikyu or sack off his Deoxys, as we do see him switch out. I do think that was the correct play there. You definitely do not want to let your Hooper go down, and he does sack the Deoxys. So that's actually not bad, because that means that I don't actually connect with a Psycho Boost. The reason that's good is because hitting Psycho Boost would lower my special attack by 2 stages, and because it didn't hit, that won't happen, so I will still be able to always kill Hooper here. So we do just see him go out into Mimikyu. It makes perfect sense. My Deoxys is faster than Choice Scarf Urshifu. I have made it to be able to do that. And yeah, here I consider switching to Rakdos in. A Shadow Claw looks pretty free here, all things considered. But I do also decide to run a calc and see if does Deoxys actually live a Shadow Claw from this Mimikyu. We know it's not Life Orb or Choice Band from how much damage it did to my Overquill. So I do actually run the calc to see if Deoxys survives a Shadow Claw, and actually looks like I do. So I have a choice here whether I want to keep my Deoxys in, but I do end up staying in and go for a knockoff. Now I do go for it. We will also see what item they were and be able to knock it off, which is also good. We break the disguise, and we also knock off their Assault Vest, which is interesting, and they actually go for Leech Life. Another very interesting move from them. Obviously to hit the Deoxys super effectively and also be able to do damage to Terrapagos. I think it was a great mid-ground play for them there. Now the Psychic Terrain is down. Knowing their Assault Vest, I am pretty certain that they definitely are carrying Shadow Sneak, as I do go out into my Terrapagos. And yet they do just go for the Shadow Claw, and that is great. We were able to get into Terrapagos without breaking my Terra Shell, which could be really important for the likes of Urshifu or Dragapult. So here I just go for an Earth Power. I believe maybe almost max special attack, so I think this will kill, but I'm not too sure. But either way, my play is just to stay in and go for an Earth Power here. He might want to stay in. I guess he could switch, but he doesn't really have the best switch-ins. So him switching out here is interesting, and we actually see him go out into Urshifu. So he does take the Earth Power, but I'm pretty sure another one will just kill. And here, yet again, I don't really have switch-ins. But the big thing is that I was able to keep my Terra Shell tagged. So here, I do go for the Terra Starstorm. In hindsight, Earth Power also would have killed, so I think that was just better to also catch the Dragapult or Mimikyu if you went for U-turn. So maybe a bit of a misplay, but I didn't get punished for it. And I do actually resist all 3 hits of the Surging Strikes, because Terra Shell is, for some reason does that, and it works differently, and it gives it an edge over Multi-Scale and Shadow Shield, which is interesting. We are just able to knock out Urshifu. Sorry, I just went on a bit of a tangent. And here, I think all things considered, I was able to get myself back into a pretty good position after that pretty shaky early game. So now could go into like a few things, maybe his Hooper or his Dragapult, as we do see that it is the Hooper, which is interesting. I guess nothing really gets one hit KO on my Terrapagos from this range. So here, yet again, I don't really have best switch-ins to this. So I do just stand as he goes for Dark Pulse, no flinch, which is great, and we do just go for an Earth Power. It does decent damage, but now I could just let Terrapagos down, or I could actually sack my Deoxys. Now in theory that does sound counterintuitive, but the thing is, if his Dragapult is Choice Scarf, which is the set I'm most worried about, it really could be a problem, and I do just lose to it if I let my Terrapagos go down. So I'm actually thinking that my play might be to just sack off my Deoxys speed instead. Now it will kill this Hooper and do good damage to a non-Choice Scarf Dragapult, but the thing is, this Hooper is now actually in range of my Choice Scarf Lunala, and he doesn't know that I'm Choice Scarf yet, so I assume he thinks it's pretty free just to keep going for this. So I do go out into my jump and just sack it to this Dark Pulse. So Deoxys does go down, but now I can go out into my Choice Scarf Lunala here, try to take this game. So here I just do go for a Moongeist Beam, and yep, we are faster, we are just able to get the KO on this Hooper. So now the real question is this Dragapult Choice Scarf? Hooper does go down, and yeah, here's really the deciding moment. I did keep Terrapagos, so he should, if he is Choice Scarf or trying to bluff it, he definitely should go into Dragapult first and hope that Mimikyu can be able to take out Terrapagos, but I am faster than non-invested, and I'm pretty sure I do kill, so we do just see Dragapult. They're not heavy duty boots, which doesn't really fill me with much confidence that they might be Choice Scarf, but I have to go for it, and yes, we are faster. Choice Scarf Lunala is going to be able to take this game for us. Mimikyu will never be able to KO Lunala with a Shadow Sneak, not even a critical hit. So that is just going to be game. Choice Scarf Lunala being able to clean up this game for us after a really shaky early game, I have to say. He definitely had us on the back foot, he played really well, but we were able to claw our way back into this game, and we see one last Moongeist Beam from our Lunala now, going to be able to take this game. So now we are 7-1, and yes, we will now be going into playoffs. I hope to see you next week, and hopefully we will be able to take it all. So, thank you for watching. C-Kipp out.